start going right into the demo, I have a few slides to provide some context on the directory, so I just want to go over those first. The first is it. What is the Central Valley Monitoring Directory? The directory is a web-based Google Map and database tool. It provides information on current monitoring programs. The word current is highlighted here to distinguish this tool from other online databases like CDIN, for example, which stores and information for monitoring that has already occurred. Current, in this case, monitoring that is taking place during the current calendar year, which right now is 2011. It was not designed to store monitoring results. Instead, it provides metadata information on objectives, and funding of a monitoring program. It also provides sampling site locations, frequency of monitoring, parameters being monitored for. And although we do not store the data results, there is a section where programs can provide links or information as to the availability of historical data or future results. For information on current monitoring, this online directory can serve as an important tool for program managers who may collaborate or share resources with other monitoring programs in their area. Or a program manager is designing a monitoring plan, they may decide to augment or adjust their monitoring parameters, site frequency, based on the information provided by the other programs. And you hope to enhance the system to per query across years. So that example, if someone wants to know who is monitoring in 2012, who monitored in 2010, they can easily look this up as well. So I'll demonstrate shortly. The directory provides an interactive Google map for GIS searching and viewing of monitoring locations and program information. Another feature that we think is critical to the success and usability of this directory is password-protected domains for program managers to enter and update their information online. This entry system provides program managers instant access to the information and real-time editing. Stephen Yang will show you a demonstration of this feature in a little bit. I will just give you a little background on the directory. The monitoring directory was originally developed by the San Francisco Estuary Institute, or FBI, with a funding in 2007. And at this time, it only covered the San Joaquin River Basin. The program was reviewed by a variety of San Joaquin watershed stakeholders. It was identified as an important tool to improve monitoring coordination. From 2007 to 2010, the directory was further developed for the entire Central Valley, with funds from the Surface Water Ambient Monitoring Program, or SWAMP. The Central Valley area is defined by the Region 5 Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board boundaries, and includes the Sacramento River, San Joaquin River, two lake basins, as well as part of the Delta. The directory was and continues to be an important tool utilized by the Delta Regional Monitoring Program in identifying their long-term monitoring efforts. Over the year, Central Valley Board staff has worked with the Aquatic Science Center, administered by SFEI, in the development of a new version of the directory that includes the Google Map interface and memory level information. This was in August 2010 and online at www.centralvalleymonitoring.org. So I'd like to take us into the live directory. But before I do that, if anyone has questions so far, we can address those. Okay. So arrow to share application. Can on their screen?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a home page of the monitoring directory. valleymonitoring.org. Before going into the directory, I did want to mention a few things. The directory is optimized for use with Firefox version 3 above or in Explorer version 8 and above. Enter, I want to draw your attention to the link that we have for online survey. This is a survey, and we are very eager to get user feedback on the utility and performance of the directory. So I hope after you had a chance to look at the directory, you will consider submitting one a chance, and the feedback that we get will be very helpful as we move forward with any future enhancements or upgrades to the directory. And I will discuss this a little bit more at the end of the presentation. You want to the right-hand menu here and press the directory button. So you will get to this page, and it's up in the right-hand corner. You'll notice a status bar or a series of bars showing the preparation of the map. This initial map that opens up is called a heat map. And notice that there's these clusters here with numbers in them. It represents the number of sites in those clusters. The reason this was initially designed this way by the Aquatic Science Center was to keep loading time of the map at minimum. But as you noticed, it still took a few seconds to get loaded up. And this is something that they've been looking at possible fixes for. And we don't have it ready today, but I did want to give you a sneak peek of a development version that I'm going to switch to. How much faster it will be. I'm going to reload this one for loading the map. And hopefully what I was there was kind of an instantaneous meeting of all the sites. So something to look forward to in hopefully the near future. I'm going to the live site. And you'll notice at the top there are that we have listed cover the region that we're looking at. And on the side of the screen is the map, which features your typical Google Map options of looking at maps in different ways, satellite, hybrid, or terrain. Also the bin and rolling bars there that you can use to move around in your map. And there's a series of tabs: programs, agencies, parameters, sites, and help. And the series of tabs I'm going to go through by one, and we'll show you summary information on the sites and monitoring going on in the region. Now, when the basin is selected as all, we don't have an all summary table, but switch back to the development version, we will have a summary table available that will show information that is all four of the basins that can be selected. For conversion, what you want to do is pick a basin that you're interested in. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Sacramento region. And once a basin is selected, you'll notice now that all the individual sites are showing up on the map. And in this case, they're showing up all in the Sacramento region that I selected. The San Joaquin River Basin, sites will show up in that. And you'll notice with the San Joaquin Basin that there's also a selection of sub-basins. And we do have that for the San Joaquin Delta. One is with working with maps and layers and that type of thing is that within agencies and across agencies and different groups, there's the same definitions and same maps being used for defining watersheds or subbasins. And in this case, we don't have it distinguished in the Sacramento River Basin. So I'm the Sacramento River Basin, and I'm going to go through the tabs first. In the first column is the program column. And you're going down that we have a lot of the regional board, big program there, as well as from USGS and UR. We're hoping, obviously, that we'll have a lot more as people get interested in this directory and monitor their information. We have the irrigated lands, swamp, and I want to clarify because I've had a few questions about the NPDES. These are permits that were issued only through Region 5. So you're aware of monitoring going on as part of statewide general permits. At this time, those monitoring sites will not be displayed. We don't have that information entered. But if the NPDES permit was issued through Region 5, then you would see the information. The next is the lead organization. And again, here you can see which organization is in charge of that program. Obviously, there's a lot of programs that have partners, collaborators. Irrigated lands, for example, the different commissions or coalitions that are part of RAM, and when you click on them, you will see those listed. The next column is the number of sites column. So for each program, we list the number of sites that have been entered for the region, and use this unmapped map feature. If you're interested in just looking at one program, for example, you can map all the sites. And if I want to just look at irrigated land sites, they're going to be there. If I want one particular site, I could select it. It will zoom, and a window that will show information about the site and the what monitoring plan it belongs to, and I'm going to go in a minute over those links, but I'm not going to enter them right now. And also as well, you can have the metadata, which is the parameter and frequency type of information, show up using the Site tab. I will go into that in just a minute. Show you that feature. So in the table across the top, after those initial columns, are your analyte groups. So it's there's everything from bioassessment, general quality, pathogens, bacteria, pesticides, toxicity. Under each column, it'll show you how many sites from that program, monitoring for that analyte group for each program. Now, this can be a little small depending on your computer. You can use this little feature to expand if you'd like. And that shows for the map. If you're zoomed into a map and you want to have it a lot larger or print it, you can your map screen. I'm going to go back to the way it was here. Oops, I think it was a little bit more. Another thing I like to do is just download it to an Excel file, and all this information will be in an Excel format where you can easily use the Excel functions to sort and filter it. The next is the Agencies tab, which maybe organizations would be a better word to use there, because even though most of our information right now is with state agencies, we hope to have citizens monitoring groups and other types of organizations with their in the system as well. It's very similar to the program summary information table, except that we now are organizing the information by lead organization. So you'll see here, this is the Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board and some other programs here. It just gives you a different option to look for information by the organization leading the program versus the program name. And at the top, we have the major groups for each program. And each tab has the information that you can to Excel. The next tab is the parameters tab. And it's very useful if you are looking for programs that are monitoring for a specific constituent or a group. And we have a large number to choose from here. Again, with all the analyte groups that you saw across the top of the other summary tabs. But there's an additional feature of being able to get specific parameters as well in each group. Look at who's doing 6 macroinvertebrates. I can unmap all my sites and head and map those, and I'll see some sites that are monitoring for macroinvertebrates. And if I'm looking at a specific site again, a pop-up window will open, and you can get some information there about the site and the program. If I look at metadata, that will take me right away to my Sites tab, and it will open up. This site has a full listing of all the sites that were in the region that you selected. And this is where you can go to get really specific information about the parameters that are being monitored. Here for this one site, you can see the monitoring plan, you can view the program, you can have it mapped, you can look at the different data types that they're taking, what the frequency is, and you can get all this information in a record format by going to Excel, which makes it in some maybe easier to filter and sort data. But for each site, the map, you can get that specific information. If you're looking for a particular watershed, for example, what I like to do is just use the find feature, which is part of your browser. If I'm looking for Deer Creek, for example, it'll take me to the Deer Creek right away, and I can have it in an open information, show the monitoring parameters for that site. So it's a rundown of the summary tabs that are part of the monitoring directory. What I'm going to use next are the monitoring program pages, monitoring plan pages. So going to the program tab, there are various links in both pop-up windows and the site tab. I'm going to go ahead and pick one of the links here at the program tab level, and I look at Irrigated Lands Regulatory Program. And by selecting that link, it'll open up a program info web page. And so this page is devoted to the irrigation program. There's some basic information about the objectives of the program, where we're monitoring. You have the partners. There's links to their website, so that would take you right to the Water Board's website about the Irrigated Lands program. Within the program, we have each monitoring plan, which in this case, each commission or water quality coalition is listed as its own monitoring plan because they all have their own specific requirements. And in a minute, I'll show you, we can go into a specific monitoring plan. But just out looking at the program window, here, instead of just showing the Sacramento region, when you go into a program page, it will show the sites that are being monitored in the entire region for that program. So now you'll see that there's also a lot of sites down in the San Joaquin area that are part of the coalition in the San Joaquin River Basin. Followed by a listing of all the sites for the Irrigated Lands program. You can search through sites. If you press a name, it'll show you the parameters, very similar to the Sites tab that I showed you a minute ago. If you want to hit Maps on the map, again, it's a window and give you the specific information about that site. And again, it will show information. That's followed by a summary table of parameters that are being monitored for irrigated lands. And this includes every single monitoring plan. It's just kind of a summary table showing parameters and frequencies. Some data that are available for the irrigated lands program. I'll show you more in the monitoring plan page. In the monitoring plan page, I do want to show you there is a download Excel button at the top, and all this information will get into a multi-worksheet Excel file, and you can sort and filter through it as you want. It'll give you a lot of information, so that's a great option that you can use as well. I'm going to go into one of the monitoring plan pages, California Rice Commission. And this looks very similar to the program page, except it's going to be specifically only about the monitoring done for the California Rice Commission plan. And again, some of the similar information, start and end dates, objectives that haven't been entered. It looks like we should probably get that entered. A map of the site, of the site, where you get the parameter information or map. There's the summary table that shows the frequency parameters being monitored. Again, down here, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier in the when I was in the slides section. So we don't have the actual stored in our database here. We provide a link here so that users can find loadable data or mon plans are available. So, for example, and we don't have a direct link to this to be able to press it, which is hopefully something we can add. If I were to copy this into my browser, go ahead and take me right to the website where we have water quality data available for you to download for the irrigation program. And again, you just want information just about monitoring plan, you can use the Excel button, and that will give you an Excel with all the information about the California Rice Commission. So with that, turn it over to Calvin. But Eric, if this is a good point, we can ask for questions before we go into the data entry portal.
I find time for questions.
Okay.
You have a clever Ann. You can unmute your phone.
Okay, we're good.
I think we're fine.
Okay, Calvin's going to take over here, and he's going to go into the data entry system.
Okay, so to get to the data entry portal, you can click on this login button, which is on the home page. And each organization will have a unique user ID and password to ensure that they have access to edit only their own monitoring programs. So we are Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board. So these are all the programs that we have access to edit data on. So this entry home screen, and what it displays is all your programs which are active or inactive, how many plans, monitoring sites, and metadata is associated with each program. And the status of being active means that the program is in the current year. For demonstration purposes, we created a demo program. And the entry page will have basic information fields for you to enter into. So the program name, objectives, a URL, and a start and funding source if you have it available. At the bottom, you'll see that there's a list of organizations. This is where you can designate an organization the lead and getting access to collaborating agencies. So we are the Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board again. So we will be the program lead, and we have data access. Our collaborating partner for this specific program is the California Department of Pesticide Regulation. So we give them data access. So when they use their user ID, they will have the ability to edit the sites and parameters. And then other collaborating partners, the California Department of Fish and Game, and they don't have data access. So then just click on the box and they will have access. More organizations, you can click on Add Organization, and a pop-up box will display all the organizations that are already in the directory. This pop box can expand to add more organizations. The symbol in the hierarchy is the monitoring plans. What that means is that a program can have one monitoring plan, or it can have multiple monitoring plans, and all of that is the NPDS. It's a program, and it has many permits, and each permit would be a separate monitoring plan. So the monitoring plan, it will display similar information boxes as the program page. But the difference with plan is that you can add sites. So site, you will just click on the button Add Site. And this will ask for basic information about your site, such as the site code, the name, the location. Thing about this map here on the left, the Google map, you could actually zoom in to a specific point and then just click on a specific point, and a pop-up box will display Latin longs and then to the boxes. But for this demo, I'm just going to enter some information I've already created. You'll note that once I've entered the Latin longs, the basin, subbasin, and tributary watershed fields auto-populate. So it's feature to let you remember where you are. For all your site information, you will just click on Save Site. And the last part is important, where it says it was successfully created. So the next step you can do is to add parameters to this site. By click on the Add Parameters. So it's just here. So this will give you some. There's also a hierarchy in this page. So the hierarchy is the sample type, determines what analyte groups you can choose from, and then what analyte you can choose. So I could say generate. So say at the beginning of the year, I want to monitor. So you would select water quality for your sample type, and then that would give a specific set to choose from. So for the example, general water quality, then like temperature. I'll select the different analyte groups, such as bulk organics, and you'll see the list change. And then change the frequency, so I'll make this one weekly, but there's also storms only, monthly, and annual. And then I may need to add. Once I've added all the information about the parameters, I'll click on Save. And then I can read the site, and it'll check there is a parameters are being monitored for this site. So what I'll talk about is the data products feature. So to add data products, you would just go to Add Data Product button, which is at the bottom. And here, this is where you can give links to the user of for information about your monitoring. So you can give them information about annual report, downloadable data, or the monitoring plan itself. So I'm just going to select downloadable data, and it is available online. And that's just a site. I just want to, when you enter it, and then just push save. When you go back to the plan, there's other data products also in here, but when you go back and click on downloadable data, it will display it, and it will save properly. Sure, last bit of information about your monitoring is the contacts information. So to add a new contact, you can click on Add Contact and just ask for basic information. You can fill it out, or you can just fill just the email address field. So I'm just going to enter mine. The thing is who contact is. So if I name myself as a primary contact, I will be receiving an email from the directory when the program is about to end. And what I could so is add, you could also add more than one contact. So that's about entering the data plan, and I want to show you how to enter your data, is because I want to show that it's pretty simple to enter and update your information on the directory. And to reiterate that once you've entered or updated your data, it will be immediately displayed on the directory. So this makes the directory able to update quicker and stay current. So and the directory will be as up to date as the user. So natural stopping point, is there any questions about the data entry portal?
Yeah, question. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, how would you add more analytes?
So what you could do, so say it was just the one site selected, you want more sites to that? Or add parameters? You would select one site, and select Edit Selected Sites,
Yeah.
and then go to, well, you can just see you have, but to add more, you would just click on Add Parameter again, and then you would enter information all over again.
Okay, to be there?
Yeah, it will still be there. So
Okay.
let me add flow. Save. Go return back to site. It will show both temperature and flow.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a broad question about how organizations actually are initially contacted to enter their data. Do you guys out knowing that they are doing some sampling in the region, or do they need to know about this database and contact you to get an initial password?
We're visiting different groups that have expressed the interest, or groups that we know that are monitoring. So it's kind of been both of those options where if we have a group, we tell them about it, we ask them if they're interested in learning more and possibly getting their information into it. But we've also had groups contact us from hearing about it as well. So it's just a matter of getting the word out and getting people interested in using it.
All right, thank you.
Was that out? Okay, Shep, and then we can open it up to any last questions. I'm going to put this, go back to the slide. Just a minute. So, as we wrap up here, I just wanted to say again that, as mentioned earlier, we do have the online survey, and that we hope that users will fill this out to give us feedback on the directory. The Aquatic Science Center is finalizing a feasibility report that has identified key enhancements to the directory, along time and cost estimates that will see a roadmap as we move forward with any future work. We have received input from a variety of stakeholders like the Citizens Monitoring Groups, state agencies, and consultants that are very helpful in developing this feasibility report. Any or suggestions that you have for us, even if it does not make it into this feasibility report, will continue to help us as we make improvements. We hope that some of you may be interested in entering your program's information. Calvin and I, you can contact Calvin and I for technical assistance to get you started. So I'll show you our information, contact information, but first I want to say a quick thanks to the Aquatic Science Center people. Thomas, Mike, Todd, and Christina have worked really hard on this project. And this is Calvin and my contact information. If you'd like to get information, put your data, just give us a call, and we'd be happy to get you started.